go.
Mighty Max.
Which we'll be covering Max today, at least, yeah.
We'll be covering Max today. Let's get the light on. So much work setting up a stupid stream.
Streams.
Oh, boy.
Don't cross the streams.
Yeah. Everyone on Discord, PRpHD and I are streaming entertainment news roundup. Join at all right. Twitter, Facebook.
Started, right?
Yeah, it started.
This is PRpHD here.
This is Muditaheart here.
And we're talking about entertainment. Entertainment defined by the Merriam-Webster dictionary defines it as...
You want to see that? We could do that.
There we go.
We need to fill this. Entertainment. Merriam-Webster. Entertainment.
E-N-T-E-R. You get it.
Let me see. Text to speech. Oh boy.
It's a leather.
Terrible. Let's see what happens.
A. Amusement or diversion provided especially by performers. Hired a band to provide entertainment. B. Something diverting or engaging, such as a public performance. A usually light comic or adventure novel. 2. The act of entertaining. 3. A. Archaic, maintenance, provision.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Obsolete, employment.
Huh.
Well, I
guess these are archaic and obsolete. See, I actually learned something about entertainment today.
I feel like this is the most I've learned in the last 10 years or something. This has been such a productive stream already.
I mean, I guess
this is what you were learning in high school about, like, Shakespeare and all these... And, like, the side of the footnotes explain to you, like, all the words that mean something else back then.
Yeah, what does Wiktionary say?
Speaking of which, I don't, as a reader of books, I don't like that much Shakespeare myself.
Entertainment. Entertainment.
Archaic.
Entertainment. From Old French, entretènement.
And maintenance, too.
Quotations. Charles Dickens, The Seven Poor Travelers.
I don't know what the Seven Poor Travelers is.
Never heard of that book before in my life.
Or it's like a short story or whatever.
They have the whole thing here. You read the whole damn book right now. There, you just saw the whole thing on the stream.
There you go.
I don't have time for this anymore. No, there's way more I need to know about entertainment.
What we're talking about again?
Entertainment news. I don't need to know the meaning of entertainment.
I wonder how many people who work for Entertainment Weekly and Entertainment Tonight know all this stuff about entertainment.
That's a good question. Maybe they more of them actually know about that than we might give credit for. It simply because
we don't know what the way they are.
Simply because like they're just around the word entertainment so often. Like I might as well look this up. Like like if somebody's done a job day after day, they just like start Wikipediaing stuff about like what actually goes into
they have iPhones.
Yeah, what actually goes into these McDonald's burgers anyway? They keep serving these.
Yeah.
You need to look this up.
Oh no, this is terrible. I can't eat this anymore.
Well, but you just start wondering things after a while. You're just there day after day. You're like, you start wondering.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, some entertainment news. We can talk about. I think we're going to talk a little bit about me watching Secrets of Dumbledore recently.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Other stuff is some Disney news.
Yeah.
So the CFO
don't remember what else besides that happened.
also-
Oh yeah, the Elemental box office, I guess.
Elemental box office was a disappointment.
The whole direction of Disney right now.
Disney's Around the World experience is interesting. I think this is a really cool, really entertaining headline if you just look at the headline, you know,
Pun intended.
so to speak. Some Max news. We could talk about that next after that. I don't really know what... I don't know.
We're covering Watchmen. We're going to cover what else?
Are we going to talk about...
I don't think we're going to cover AEW because you probably don't want to talk about AEW.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I guess The Flash. Whatever we can see on Polygon about The Flash.
Sure, we're going to talk about stuff on Polygon.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about Max.com? The only thing that people seem to care about is the fact that HBO Max switched over to Max, and that was the only headline.
I'm DuckDuckGo, at least. Google probably has a whole bunch more different stuff.
Think so? Okay. Also, pardon me if I'm...
Max is so vague that, like, you can cover anything.
Yeah. Also, pardon me if I'm talking a little funny. I have, like, a little canker sore on the tip of my tongue, so I might be talking a little funny today. Let me see. Max.com. I don't even recognize Google.com anymore. It looks so weird. Rename Max. This is like talking about how it's going to be called Max, so that's even further far behind than DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I guess that was a bad idea to try to search for this. I guess maybe
This
the
is
Flash.
really, nobody really cares.
The Flash and Dumbledore, I guess.
Literally, no one cares about this.
Yeah.
Flash and Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Okay, Flash.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about AEW, I think.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, let me know if you want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Bring on every cameo. Amaranth made a chatbot clone to outsource flirting and to protect herself. Oh boy. Netflix
I guess that's the
One
next
Piece.
step, right? Like, then she can, like, go hide and, like, avoid people. And that'd be perfectly safe.
The best movies of 2023. So
I also guess that was, like, sort of a weird title, I guess.
And then, yeah, we're going to talk about HBO's Watchmen. Because, like, we remember 2 years ago, that Juneteenth, they allowed streaming of all 9 episodes of Watchmen to stream for free on HBO.com to celebrate Juneteenth. And, yeah, Juneteenth is tomorrow as we're streaming this, so figure, you know, we never got to review Watchmen, HBO's Watchmen before. So it seems like a good opportunity to review The Watchmen, as it were.
Watch The Watchmen.
Watch The Watchmen.
Talk about The Watchmen.
Talk about the Watchmen.
Talk the Talkman.
Talk the Talkman. I don't... If you can talk the Talkman, but can you
Walk the
walk
Walkman.
the Walkman? Sure, you can talk the Talkman, but can you walk the Walkman? This is Rotten Tomatoes. Oh yeah, RogerEbert.com. We have too many tabs now. I'm gonna close a couple.
Sure.
This is the What is Juneteenth?
Yeah, I might close that one. Well, the entertainment one we can
We'll
close.
close this. We'll keep this open. Okay. Yeah. Where should we start? We have a lot of options.
I feel like Dumbledore is like the least current one.
Should we talk about it first then, or?
What do you feel? I don't know. Let's
I'm
have you
okay.
guys
I'm
just to make it easier.
I really don't mind. If we talk about this first, I mean, I just watched this, I guess.
So it's on top of your head.
Yeah, I guess
Okay,
we
so
talk
go
about
ahead,
it. Sure. I mean, this was an interesting movie. I just, oh boy. Yeah, I've been watching the Fantastic Beasts series again, and like, it's kind of a fascinating series because it started in 2016 with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and it had the title of like a fictional textbook, but then it had this new era of like the Harry Potter universe involving like people in the 1920s and like the U.S. portion of the Wizarding World and stuff.
Especially that first movie.
Yeah, so it's like involving a lot of different aspects of the Wizarding World, which is like basically the Harry Potter universe without Harry Potter involved.
Yeah.
And they're just opening up the universe in terms of timelines, in terms of characters, in terms of setting, in terms of like places other than the UK and Europe and stuff like that. And just like getting into a lot of other stuff that's not just kids in a single school over and over again. So they really opened up the universe. And I thought that first movie was fascinating. And that came out in 2016. Yeah, that came out in 2016. And, you know, they had like goblins and jazz and like...
There's a peak Eddie Redmayne interest with like the Oscar double. I think it's 2 years in a row he won the Oscar for best leading actor.
Yeah, why don't we even like just bring up a thing a little bit about Fantastic Beasts? Fantastic Beasts. And where to find them. And then, yeah.
Well,
and it did pretty well.
It did pretty well.
Pretty well. And then 2 years after that was...
And that, the second movie did not do well. And I didn't like it either.
Yeah.
I don't like all of them, but like this is definitely the worst out of all of them in my opinion.
And maybe part of the reason
I haven't watched the third one yet.
And like keep in mind, these are all like, even though they're in the Wizarding World and they're not based off of existing Harry Potter books or anything, these are scripts written by J.K. Rowling herself.
Yeah.
So all three films, the scripts are written by J.K. Rowling.
Well, pretty much everything has to go for her approval anyway, even if she doesn't write them.
That's true, but she does like writing them. And she did the scripts. She did the screenplays. So yeah, and then this movie had a lot of things going against it. I think this was around when J.K. Rowling was starting to get more controversial, and then also Johnny Depp was casted as like the primary antagonist of this film. But then a lot of his controversies started.
I think
to come
at
to
this
light.
time, like people weren't on his side yet. Like it was still like when people were like weren't Amber Heard's side, possibly. Either.
Yeah, people were already canceling Johnny Depp, and it reached a point such that they had to like recast him for the third movie. And yeah.
Also, this movie is just sort of a mess. Like it's sort of like, and we joked about this before, the quantum of solace of like the Harry Potter films or even the Fantastic Beasts films.
Yeah, I watched this like part of the way into the movie, like on Spectrum, and then I watched the beginning part of the movie that I missed, you know, as a follow up on HBO Max. I'm like, okay, this is an entertaining movie. Like having had all the distance of like trying to just divorce in my mind all the J.K. Rowling stuff, all the Johnny Depp stuff. There's like other actors, there's other creative people involved in this. Like this is a pretty wild ride as like a Harry Potter universe kind of thing. But it does feel like they're like compressing all these kind of story points really, really quickly and like jumping into it. Like
I didn't think it was like Terrence Malick where it was like it's like this flow of consciousness thing. I just think it was like not a finished product.
Okay, what was the context in which you were watching it?
Yeah, it probably wasn't as good as yours. Just so you know, yeah.
What do you mean, like, yeah? Do you care to elaborate?
I was probably like skimming through it a little bit.
Okay.
It probably wasn't like as high HD or whatever as yours also.
Okay, interesting. I was like focused on this movie, like trying to follow it and like just in my room watching it, like focused on watching it. And like even then it felt like it was like kind of, if you miss like 3 seconds of a line or something, you're gonna like be completely lost or whatever at points. And then like there'd be like random characters that like, oh, is this person gonna be important? And then like they're brought up like one time later on, and then like it gets resolved in 2 seconds. And like, yeah, it's got a lot of threads and stuff going on. It feels like they had the idea for like they wanted to have like a Harry Potter book's worth of stuff crammed into a movie. A 2 hour and 14.
Books are very interesting because like
a 2 hour and 14-minute movie.
They cut a lot of stuff out, and that sometimes makes the movies worse. Like in the first 2 movies, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Also, is the Twitch chat on the screen?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, you can see it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm used to it being on the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. What do people say? Critics' consensus. Glimmers of the magic familiar to Harry Potter fans, but the story spell isn't as strong as earlier installments.
It's a very politically correct way of saying nothing in particular.
Yeah, it's not as good, is what they're trying to say.
Yeah. It's not as good. Like, no, you gotta write 2 sentences in, like, great English about how it's not that good.
Yeah.
Or sound fancier. That was like, Shin Kamen Rider wasn't that great or whatever.
Should we get some music going on?
Yeah, I want some music too, actually. Let's think about it. Because it's sort of like putting me off of
We're
me
talking
too.
about like really dead silence. Yeah, stupid Harry
What
Potter
happened to the new
movies.
party outside, folks?
What movie? What game chops?
Let's see.
Lo-fi Harry Potter.
What's like? Yeah, or if there's like a magic Nintendo game or something.
It's a magical Nintendo franchise.
Like Fire Emblem, I don't know. Well, there's a Magic Koopa theme. A Magic Koopa theme. No, there's not. I don't think they have one of those.
Magical Nintendo. I guess people think of Zelda because it's
yeah, there you
fantasy. It's not just straight up wizards. There aren't many things that are just straight up wizards.
Yeah, I guess that's how you would differentiate like
That's
the Legend
why-
of Zelda world, Universal with Harry Potter.
That's why like there wasn't a lot of things capitalizing on the whole like wizarding world genre, you know. I mean, I don't know, is there like a Hogwarts?
It's very interesting because it's like it takes place in England when witches you normally associate with America.
Should we risk playing a Hogwarts Legacy soundtrack? Even though it's from a game?
It should be okay from a game. I mean, I guess Warner does like
Lo-fi.
copyright stuff.
Lo-fi. I've never heard this before.
Yeah,
Lo-fi
maybe.
jam. Now I'm like getting spoilers basically at this point.
Yeah.
Looking at the playlists.
Yeah.
Let's check out this lo-fi jam. I can't even tell
I
this is
can't
Harry
tell what this
Hogwarts.
is.
Is this even? I can't even tell. I don't know what's happening. All right, let's take
I
it.
guess they have like Final Fantasy, Magic, and Wizards.
There's not even that many comments explaining.
We're gonna start talking in the middle of the music playing.
I don't like lo-fi music that has like dialogue sampling
Yeah,
unless it's super subtle.
yeah,
Not a fan of that. I like instrumental.
yeah.
I don't know.
Or like if it's like a game, it doesn't work. But if it's never gonna give you up, it's fine. I guess Final Fantasy, old school, or Dragon Quest or something.
Yeah, Final Fantasy. Dragon Quest? Do you think they have Dragon Quest?
I don't know what they do. I like to check Final Fantasy.
Dragon Quest isn't as popular amongst
Yeah.
Western. Fantasy. They have tons of this. Chocobo Chill is
I feel like they
fun.
don't have enough. At least it's not in the playlist.
They should. I mean, they could always have more.
Yeah.
You can
I
always.
think they have a
more.
bunch. You just gotta search for it.
Yeah, I literally bought this album,
Oh, cool.
so I supported them because I use this so often.
Yeah.
This is in some of my videos. This one.
Cool. Chocobo and Chill is pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. I think I like it better than their Black Materia album.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, we're supposed to talk about this.
Yeah.
Should we show the trailer?
Sure, I guess I can hear it. Wait, I think Warner's pretty strict about copyright.
They're
actually.
strict about trailers. Should we skim
Well,
through it?
the thing is, like,
Mute it and skim through it a little.
I don't know, you try it. I know, like, I've had copyright issues with Warner, as all I know. I think they've taken out those stuff before. This scene I've seen, yeah. It looks a little bit like Death Stranding, even.
Just because it has Mads Mikkelsen.
It's like the building goes in flames. As if it's like a dream in an anime or something.
I mean, this is like the whole movie. Like,
Yeah.
this is all the
I
highlights.
take
of
your word
the
for it.
movie,
I don't
feels
remember. I've never watched it before, so I don't know. They just talk a lot in the movie or something.
So okay.
I guess you have to do your little wand pose in the movies, whereas if you're reading the book, you're not managing that stuff at all. Like there's a scorpion thing, yeah.
Let me see. Okay. Should I give like? Okay, I think I might give. And how would I explain this movie with zero spoilers?
It would not spoil anything for me if I had never watched it before, which is gonna be hard because I haven't watched it before.
I'm gonna try and talk about it with zero spoilers.
Alright.
Then I'm gonna talk about, and then I'm gonna see if I can explain like the basic premise of the plot that's explained in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna leave it at that.
Alright.
Like I'm just gonna explain the premise of the plot of the movie that's gonna drive the whole movie.
Yeah.
This is in the first 10 minutes. So, so zero spoilers version of this is that it's a follow up to the second movie. We have some of the threads that like were left off on the second movie, where like like this key character has some relation to some of these other characters involved, and we're gonna find out his origins and stuff if you watch the second movie. And then it's gonna follow up with like Grindelwald's whole plot to like take over the world, whatever that may be. I'm not gonna say what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like the basic premise of this movie.
And that works for me. That's not really a spoiler for me because like I don't really follow the second movie enough about Grindelwald to figure out any of that stuff.
Yeah. What do you even know? Like Grindelwald's whole like.
I don't even know. I don't even know who he is.
Do you know his stances on like?
I just based on like the first 10 minutes of the movie, I sort of get an idea. But like,
yeah. Do you
outside of the second movie, I have no idea.
Yeah. I think the first 10 minutes of this movie is to not only remind you of like Grindelwald the character, but it's also to like introduce to you who the actor is.
Also, if you watch the same movie, had no idea what was going on, the third movie will explain it better.
Yeah, the third movie explains the first 5 minutes. It catches you up like, okay, this is who this dude is. And
it's sort of like
and
how
who his key relationships are and stuff like that. And like what his deal is.
Actually, it feels very J.K. Rowling-ish. Like when she writes the books, she's like, oh, remember this character? They were doing this in this book, and you got... and this and that book, and then I'll tell you that near the end of the book even.
And now we're like getting caught up, and then like, okay, let's get to the action. So
yeah, that's very J.K. Rowling-ish, yeah.
Yeah, and it always starts
the
like in the school, or like at the Dursley house, or whatever, or like somebody has a bad nightmare or whatever.
Oh, don't you remember the Philosopher's Stone in the first book, or like the Table Turner, or whatever?
Yeah, the Time Turner, or whatever.
Yeah. This just goes on entire pages reminding you about previous books.
I gotta reread these books. I didn't ever, fun fact, I never finished reading the series.
Never did I.
I only read up to like part of Order of the Phoenix,
Me too,
and then I dropped off after a while.
Yeah.
Order
of the Phoenix is pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta finish reading Order of the Phoenix, and then I gotta read the rest of the books.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll be like more fleshed out than the movies are and stuff.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's like the very, very base premise of Secrets of Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Without giving any spoilers at all.
Yeah.
So light basic premises of like when you watch the first 10 minutes of this film, you don't mind if I say that, right?
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, so if you watch the first 10 minutes of this film, they basically set up that like I'm not even gonna get that deep into it, but like basically like Grindelwald's plan involves all this intrigue and stuff in the world of the politics of the Wizarding World.
Oh, maybe I should leave it for this part.
And that's basically all I'm gonna say.
Alright, sure.
Yeah, and like he needs like certain elements to get it together, and that he also has like these certain powers that like they have to like work around his abilities and stuff to like try and plot against him because they have to do defensive tactics. And like as a result, like you're kind of like wondering like, oh, what are they gonna do next to like throw him off the scent and stuff. So yeah, there's like this. So there's those three main plots going on.
So,
Do you think that's already too many spoilers?
I think that's fine. I don't think you told me like Grindelwald dies in the movie or something. I feel that would be like a big spoiler.
Okay, yeah, I'm not saying anything like that. Yeah, but yeah, that's the premise of the third movie, and yeah, there's like some follow up from the second movie on like, okay, who are some characters, how are they going to relate to other characters, and stuff like that.
We can talk about like one thing we can talk about that you did show me was how Mads Mikkelsen portrayed Grindelwald compared to Johnny Depp did. Like Johnny Depp had like white spiked hair. Mads Mikkelsen
yeah, he has a very
has
stark
black hair curved down.
Yeah, they really stylized Johnny Depp's character. His like hair is like he's like transformed into another person basically, and then his performance is like really like he's like being another character, or whatever.
Yeah,
he's like making a new character.
Mads Mikkelsen is playing Mads Mikkelsen with magic.
He's like mostly himself.
Yeah,
like he's like Le Chiffre from like Casino Royale, or like pretty much every other character he plays. But like he does,
like there's no way he's gonna play Johnny Depp. That would never work.
Yeah, he's like said. There's like okay, I gotta show you this.
I'm the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean. You don't remember me? We gotta get the Curse of the Black Pearl. Also, that's a really bad Johnny Depp impersonation.
I gotta show you this.
You've explained it to me before, but it'd be cool just to actually see it. You know.
I'm gonna scroll through this.
I guess you could do a voice to text also.
So, Mads Mikkelsen on Fantastic Beasts, Casting Chaos, Johnny Depp, J.K. Rowling, and Indy 5. So this is like in 2022 he's talking about this. April 2022. The Danish actor explains...
I didn't even know he was talking about Indy 5 back then.
Yeah, I guess they were talking about it a little bit.
Oh.
The Danish actor explains how he's mastered playing franchise villains in Hollywood, gives new details about his role as Grindelwald, discusses the future of the Fantastic Beasts franchise, and teases the long-awaited Indiana Jones 5. Honestly, I think this single interview like talked a lot about like what was going on with Fantastic Beasts that they quoted on the Wikipedia for Fantastic Beasts franchise.
Yeah, you can feel free to link it, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta link it in the chat here.
Oh.
But yeah, and then this is not gonna get into spoilers, super deep spoilers, because like, you know, he's like doing a press thing or whatever. But
yeah.
Depp. So like, yeah.
Yo ho, I'm Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, so like it was quite chaotic. Who quickly watched the first two films and read the script for Secrets, which he thought was a great story. He notes, "You don't want to copy anything Depp was doing. That would be creative suicide." He literally says that.
Yeah.
Even if a role has been done to perfection, you want to make it your own, but you still have to build some sort of bridge between what came before. So he's like keeping this in mind. He wants to like kind of like still have some of Depp's portrayal, but he has to make it his own. He also doesn't want to copy him and stuff. So like I think there's like elements you can kind of sense. There's like the thing, but like yeah, he definitely has a minimalist kind of style of acting and stuff, where like the more he just like says stuff with his face and like tones down, like he just says stuff really stoically all the time and stuff.
Yeah, you can't really play him that often he can't be a protagonist.
He can't be a big actor. As like, yes, I'm here to
do comedy.
Yes, Ron Weasley, we must stop Voldemort. Harry, you're scaring me. Harry. Yes, we must get the Deathly Hallows. Harry, you're not thinking of doing anything wrong with the Deathly Hallows, are you? No, Ron. I'm actually going to do something quite good. And even better than anything you could have dreamed of. That scares me that you said that, Mads Mikkelsen, Harry Potter.
He does sort of remind me of like who I would cast as a Slytherin.
Yeah, he's very clearly... it's very against type. I've never seen him in like, what's his most like protagonistic role?
I mean, he's probably been in comedies before. Just that, it's weird.
But like they play off of his like,
I would assume
face.
so. I haven't watched.
They have to lean
I don't
into
watch
him.
These comedies normally.
even if he does a comedy, they have to lean into his stone-faced, abilities and stuff like that.
He would probably, have to be a Zeppo or something.
He can't be like, Ken Jeong or whatever, or like,
exactly,
or like a Seth Rogen, like, he's like,
there you go.
Yes, it's quite amusing. Like, whoa, that's scary, man.
Yeah, this is a very good photo of both of them in that shot.
Yeah, it's very good. Can you picture like Mads Mikkelsen replacing Seth Rogen off of James Franco in a movie?
Yeah, I made the comparison to like another big UK franchise in James Bond.
Yeah.
You just keep replacing James Bond or Blofeld or whatever, and then and it works. Like, people don't really question it, even though it was obviously a different actor.
Yeah, they do try to like have a little bit of the makeup and stuff.
Franchise, especially.
Right. They recast Batman. That's a notable one.
Yeah.
I was just reading about like the Val Kilmer Batman recently, and
because of the Schumacher cut.
I was hearing about the Schumacher.
Yeah,
cut.
Kevin Smith's going to review it.
Oh, really? Wow. And I also heard that Val Kilmer was in the new Top Gun movie. Yeah. After his whole throat cancer stuff.
Oh, that's what he had. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had throat cancer. Unfortunately,
okay.
Yeah. It was very sad. Yeah. But like they worked with it for the movie because they want to bring it back.
He looked like he was having a lot of fun because like he did a mockumentary on his own stuff, and he loves doing mockumentaries on himself.
Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
He also did a documentary about his throat cancer experiences too.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something I did a late night YouTube dive into the other day, and then there's just like with the comparison of the visual appearances of like the makeup and stuff, like Johnny Depp's hair is much more dramatic, like bleached white kind of color and stuff. They just kind of make Mads Mikkelsen's hair kind of platinum or whatever, but then like Johnny Depp's albino right eye here is like very prominent, but like you can see they did a little bit of something to Mads Mikkelsen's eye. It's a little bit like they described it as being a little reptilian or whatever, and but still not as prominent as Johnny Depp's eye here. And yeah, this is, I think like even this interview mentions like
I also want to mention like their clothes, like
the clothes are very similar.
Like Mads Mikkelsen's all like nice and clean, whereas like Johnny Depp's is all baggy.
Oh yeah, it's like kind of more.
They're totally different opposites, even though they're playing the same character.
Yeah, and this is clearly Mads Mikkelsen. They don't try to like give him the same mustache.
They'll give him Johnny Depp makeup or CGI
like
Johnny Depp on his face.
Yeah. But they even mentioned the eye in the beginning of this interview. Mads Mikkelsen is a not so secret weapon when it comes to playing villains, of which he has portrayed many. So many, in fact, that Mikkelsen has been 6 different characters that had a problem with their eyes. Intriguing bad guys, it seems, requires an ophthalmologic trauma. Whether it's his Bond villain Le Chiffre weeping blood in Casino Royale, his Caecilius' sinister Purple Rings Papers in Doctor Strange,
It was Doctor Strange.
He was like the guy who was trying to revive Dormammu or whatever.
Oh,
he was like the main villain of that.
Yeah.
And then, it's hard to remember that he was in MCU even.
Yeah.
There's just so many people.
Yeah.
And he was I feel like his role was not as memorable or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he was the primary antagonist, whatever.
Yeah.
Or his One-Eyed Killers in Valhalla Rising, 3 Musketeers, and Polar. Don't really remember those movies.
Yeah.
But that's still remarkable that like it keeps happening over and over again for like 6 different movies that are all villains, all have a problem with his eye, all different genres. Different franchises,
Yeah.
Some of them major franchises, some of them minor franchises.
No.
But aside from his character's curiously high rate of obstacle issues, there's a second element the Danish actor has employed to great effect. Stillness. Many actors... See? Yeah. Stillness. You could just tell. You just think about
He's
it.
still... And like Johnny Depp was like walking all over the place. Moving his hands all over the place.
Yeah, or like big, very dynamic range in his voice.
No.
Projecting a waving lilt to his voice.
No.
And just kind of like a very dynamic. But like, Mads Mikkelsen's more stoic, more reserved, but like still like very sinister and cutting, to it. So they even mentioned this. Many performers instinctively go big when playing the heavy. Mikkelsen has, to be sure, portrayed characters with a wide range of personalities over the years, particularly in acclaimed films from his native Denmark. But when the actor is cast as an antagonist or anti-hero, he's become a franchise player by embracing minimalism. So I think that was really interesting.
It's pretty accurate, yeah.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. And it's cool that he has had this success as a range in not only small budget films but also really big things.
Yeah.
Also even really kind of goofy things like even done Doctor Strange and stuff. He's willing to lean into the versatility to make it as an actor in both big and small things and stuff. And and they're people are willing. He has
to put the bread on the table too. I don't imagine he's getting paid a lot for these roles. Probably getting $40,000 or something.
Probably for these blockbusters, he's doing pretty well. I would imagine.
I'm not sure about that actually.
It might not be.
I don't think he's like Robert Downey Jr. or something.
Have you heard how much Orlando Bloom got paid for the original Lord of the Rings? He revealed it in a Howard Stern.
I feel like that's different. Orlando Bloom was a really hot item at the time. I don't think Mads Mikkelsen people consider it like that.
No, I was about to say he actually didn't get paid a lot in Lord of the Rings. Orlando Bloom.
Okay, well that actually doesn't surprise me. Actually, I thought you were going in the opposite direction. I was like, yeah, that probably makes sense because he's not an A-lister, right?
Let's see if we can find this. Orlando Bloom.
Okay, I don't think he gets. I don't think he gets Robert Downey Jr. But I don't know if anyone will get money.
Here we go.
I don't even know if Frodo will get money for that.
Here we go. This is Howard Stern. Orlando Bloom was paid $175,000 for Lord of the Rings trilogy, 2019.
That's worse than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was $500,000 or something.
Yeah, it's literally just pays off NYU tuition for undergrad or whatever.
Because he's a protagonist,
He's a primary.
If he was a villain, I'd picture being $40,000, but $175,000 is pretty low.
Yeah, and he's one of the draws. They brought him back for The Hobbit and stuff, so I think they probably made it up to him. I think
the franchise seems going. He can make $1 million, but he can't really live a Hollywood lifestyle with that kind of money.
Yeah, you're not in Beverly Hills with that kind of money. But I think he did say he was grateful for this in this particular interview because he said it helped him set up this career of his.
Yeah.
And he was able.
Also, interesting because this is a Max property. Also, yeah.
Howard Stern. Or Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
And Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter start off the same year in 2000.
Yeah, right.
For the same decade and stuff.
Right. A lot of interesting franchises came up around that time period.
Yeah, it also inspired Magic Ranger to happen, having Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings influences.
Yeah. And maybe even Harry Potter. Yeah. So yeah, Fantastic Beasts. Also notable in that it came out in 2022, delayed by the pandemic and all that. And so there's a 4-year gap between the second movie and the third movie.
I hope there's not something pandemic related in the film, and don't spoil to me if there is. I'd rather that be spoiled to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah. So I guess I can't give spoilers. What else can I talk about with this movie? I don't know. Yeah.
Was it good? Because I don't know.
I enjoyed it. I thought it did a lot of interesting things with some of the locations. I was I wasn't expecting they were going to go to this place in the world.
I think they're in the thing, right? They're in the trailer.
Yeah, you see some of the places in the trailers and stuff.
I felt it was probably over CGI'd and it didn't look that great. Probably.
Yeah,
it was using 2000 CGI in the 2020s.
I thought it was a pretty inventive script. I don't know. I feel like CGI is starting to blur together now.
Yeah.
Where it just seems it all looks the same.
Yeah.
It's not really stylized as much anymore. Some of the stylization of the effects is interesting with some of the magic and stuff where it's a new setting or whatever. They have to portray something a slightly different way. But some of the stuff looks okay, they're just doing general magic blasts and stuff,
Yeah.
and that's less interesting. With actually doing like really creative stuff, which I think like some of the stuff that I think I felt like reminding me of like Dumbledore's characterization was like, the villains always think of magic as like, okay, we're gonna kill somebody or whatever. But like I think one of the things I remember about Dumbledore's character was like he was always thinking of like unconventional ways to like fight people and disarm people and stuff, and like using other kinds of things that aren't just spells and killing curses and stuff.
Speaking of which,
So like I thought that was like when they get into some of that inventiveness, I was like, okay, that's pretty interesting.
I've never seen Dumbledore in action. That scene where someone dies.
In the original Harry Potter movies?
Yeah. So I'm wondering how that plays out.
Do you see that in the movie?
I didn't
How
see
it played
it.
out in the movie?
I didn't see how it played out in the movie. I know what happens, but I'm curious how it played out.
Interesting.
And don't tell me how it played out also. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess I should watch Max to figure it out.
I think I probably barely remember
Okay.
even.
Yeah, maybe I did watch it. Maybe it just wasn't that memorable. Yeah.
Yeah, I barely remember it. It's been a while. Yeah, honestly, like they were like acting like Newt Scamander was like the protagonist of this film. It was really kind of an ensemble movie in this one.
Yeah, look at that in the trailers. Yeah.
Yeah, even more than the other movies. The other movies, it felt like Newt Scamander was like the protagonist, and you were following his story.
Yeah.
In this movie, even less so. Like the emphasis was more on other characters and stuff. There's also some character. There's one particular character I'm thinking of who like was like a really big part of the first two movies. She's like barely in this movie, other than to just set up certain like character developments that might happen before and after the movie. So like that happens to one character, but like there's just it's kind of like I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on in the production of this movie that like they probably can't talk about and that most people aren't even gonna think about. But it was just kind of you could sense there's a lot going on behind the scenes of like getting this made and stuff. That's like that like is resulting in being kind of like all over the place in order for them to adapt it and everything. But the special effects for all the magic was pretty cool. All the environments, all the creatures and stuff. And some of it's like tonally all over the place too. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting movie.
It's interesting because I guess in the first movie at least they don't do like a Harry, Ron, and Hermione thing. They do like a buddy cop thing in the first movie.
Yeah, they don't try to recreate the same exact dynamic in the Harry Potter stories.
And they do that. I feel like even with Dumbledore also, like he looks a little different and stuff. Like he doesn't have a big beard.
Right. And this is like a story about adult magicians and stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than like about little kids or
Like
whatever.
at school, yeah.
Yeah. So they really try to build out the universe a little more and go in different places. Because like there's certain things that they're doing here that, you can't really have like kids doing as easily.
Yeah.
You can't have like a first year student like going like all around the world and stuff. Like I don't even know how to cast a single spell, and like like they're just getting straight into the
I guess
action.
they sort of did that, except it was like a field trip in the third or fourth movie or book.
Sora did that. Which one? Sora did that. Sora did that. Which movie?
I think when they're doing like the competitions between the schools or whatever.
Oh, Goblet of Fire and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty wild how but like they find some kind of narrative framework to work within, to be like, okay, they don't know everything, but they know enough to like get some things done in Harry Potter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you can kind of have some suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
In this, they're like, okay, we're just gonna jump right into it. These are wizards. They're all adults. They know all the spells that you know from the previous movies. For the most part, we're gonna just like throw stuff at you. Here's a polyjuice potion, blah 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 blah, and here's Obliviate. Here's like this and that, and they kind of like are like just assuming like this is the world of Harry Potter. You're gonna ride with it, and like all these things are established. Anyway, I like this movie. I thought it was entertaining. I feel like it's worth watching, especially given that like it seemed like not a lot of people seem to have watched it or whatever. Actually, I have no idea how it did box
Yeah, how was the
office
box
wise.
office?
That's a good question. Secrets of Dumbledore box office. Box office mojo. Opening 42 million.
I mean, yeah, like, this is like a $1 billion movie franchise, I guess. Like, every movie's supposed to be like Avengers, I think.
Domestic daily, domestic weekend, domestic all-time rankings.
I think it was maybe the last few that like made $1 billion, and then before that was like lower because like it was building up to like the final book or whatever.
Okay, it's worldwide was 400 million. That's honestly like I think that's would be a disappointment for the executives.
Yeah, like especially after Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2.
Yeah, it got 95 million domestic, 300 million international. That sounds like gangbusters numbers to regular people, but like considering how much they must have spent on marketing.
Like the US is so popular, like all the theme parks, like
yeah,
it really should be like $1 billion or something. Yeah.
Yeah, when I looked at the Fantastic Beasts series Wikipedia entry, they said they wanted to make 5 movies.
Yeah.
And they wanted to go until 1945 in terms of the timeline from 1926 to 1945. Yeah. That was the vision that J.K. Rowling had.
That would be very interesting, actually.
I think that would be very interesting.
Like talking about Muggles and stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but like I mean you can guess like a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like line up with that timeline and stuff.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting to see, but apparently like it sounded like didn't seem like there was like ongoing discussions to move forward with the series after like 2022 or something.
I think
based on the box office alone.
I think they were going towards a Max TV series with it.
Right.
Yeah.
That was another thing they might have been considering.
And Daniel Radcliffe said that he probably wouldn't cameo because it'd be like weird because like he's not Harry Potter, and then you see a Harry Potter and then you see him, and then it'd just be very pointless.
Also, I think it's a different timeline, different point in time in the universe chronologically.
Oh really?
Isn't it like
I didn't know what the time was going to be. Yeah.
Isn't it supposed to be Hogwarts Legacy or something? For the TV
I heard
show?
about that too. Yeah, I heard two different things.
Okay, do you think they're going to do a TV show based off of the Fantastic Beasts universe, or?
I was making up this thing where like you did this like Avengers like Endgame thing where you're like you get the Dumbledore from like this universe and then the current universe and the Hogwarts Legacy universe. Then you get like Helen Mirren doing the game show thing from TBS and stuff.
Wait, Helen Mirren did the game show thing from TBS?
Yeah, like the House Cup thing where like people would be answering like Harry Potter trivia.
Oh, Harry Potter 20th anniversary special?
Yeah, that thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a dumb idea. I was just joking around with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wonder what it's probably crossed their minds, like in like multiverses or something.
Just keep bring the attention to the franchise.
Yeah.
There's so many one thing I was mentioning to PRpHD is that there's so many things killing the momentum of this particular movie. One, this is like peak J.K. Rowling controversy. Yeah. Another is like Ezra Miller was going through controversy.
He was in the movie apparently too, in the franchise.
Where they were, right?
Or sorry,
and then
like it's weird anyway because like they do Flash anyway. So what's the difference? And the Flash was like a brand new thing.
Yeah, and then also like Johnny Depp was recast. So either you're living in the aftermath of that, but also as a different person.
Also, the second movie didn't do well.
Right.
And I didn't like the second movie. I would have watched. I would have watched the third movie except for the pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think like this is one of the more minor things, but also Eddie Redmayne was criticized for like portraying the Danish girl and stuff retroactively and stuff, or like even at the time. Yeah. So, but that kind of like rings a little awkwardly, But I don't think people care. There were like too many other problems with this movie for people to like. It just seems like people weren't thinking about that one as much.
I mean,
we only have so many things to think about.
He was the most innocent one out of the people. Yeah.
We have only so many things to worry about on a given day.
I've never heard of a problem with Eddie Redmayne. I'll be the good I don't know.
Yeah, I think ladies are into Eddie Redmayne.
Probably, yeah. I would get that, yeah.
But let me see.
I don't know how much she got paid for Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
Or like how much J.K. Rowling is contract with Warner or Universal is.
Yeah, that's a good question. I have no idea. But yeah. So, like, yeah, there's a lot of things going against this movie. Also, it was, like, after pandemic, and, like, people might have already forgotten about this franchise in general. Like, what was... And, like, also people don't know what the franchise is to begin with. If you have Harry Potter, you're like, I know who Harry Potter is.
Oh, that's what you mean. Because, like, I know, like, Universal Beijing, that was, like, the hugest thing, Harry Potter and Universal Beijing.
Yeah, but, like, people keep saying, it's Wizarding World. It's Harry
If
Potter.
it was Wizarding World, that probably would work better than the Fantastic Beasts, honestly.
Yeah,
They want to confuse with Harry Potter, but like if they didn't put Harry Potter in the title, like it was a lot more confusing that way.
Like, let me try to find like they try to have a title card here somewhere. I don't know.
Or like Dumbledore, put Dumbledore in the title or something.
I don't know, this.
Oh, it's David Yates. He's a great director.
Yeah, they had a lot of
Who's director of the second film?
They had a lot of the Harry Potter movie people brought in for the Fantastic Beasts films also. So, like, made Rowling more comfortable. Yeah, you can kind of see over here. Oh, you can't really see it on the thing.
I see Wizarding Worlds, yeah.
Over here.
You want to make it bigger or something?
Let's see if I can make it bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you look at it on... Let me see if I could just bring it up on HBO. Just, like, without, like, getting the copyright thing. But, let me just show you this. This shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Pause. Oh. There we go. This. Shit.
It's alright. There you go.
There we go. So this like sets you like, oh. But, like, nobody calls the franchise Wizarding World.
Yeah.
They all call it Harry Potter, you know? Yeah. And you always, even if they say Wizarding World, they're like, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. But, like, they really have a big branding issue right now. So, like, and they're also like, well, what is Fantastic Beasts? Is it, like, a bunch of animals or whatever?
They don't say Newt Scamander. They say Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, they don't say Newt Scamander. Like, they're like, oh, Dumbledore. I guess that's a character I know.
Yeah.
But, like, when is this happening? You know? Who is Grindelwald? Like, you know, there's a lot of issues with...
Oh, yeah, it's a long title, too.
It's a long title. It's confusing. I feel like it's like people...
Oh, yeah, I watched that one before. That was the second one, right? Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah, like, I might have watched Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them in 2016, you know. That was 6 years ago. I forgot about that. That was all right. There was more movies, you know, like... Yeah, the hardcore Harry Potter fans liked it. And I also think the international box office probably was pretty warm to it, too, because I just feel like there's not a lot of, like... I feel like the international box office tends to like big blockbuster franchises like this. Maybe even more than the U.S. domestic box offices, because, like, we're all like, oh, it's another dime a dozen blockbuster, but in international audiences, like, wow, the amazing Hollywood... experience that like only Hollywood people can make. So I don't know, but even 300 million is not super big for international.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had a lot of things going against this. I think it's still an interesting movie.
Yeah, I think maybe China might have reopened by that time also, right?
Yeah, and
also like countries that are very conservative or like restrictions of COVID policy and going out.
Yeah, also there's like some LGBTQ stuff going on in this movie.
Yeah.
And like it's like
they don't really talk I don't know if it's talked about in the media, but like
yeah.
You know, like
I don't even think
people make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Like, the reverse happened and that was a big deal, but like
sometimes like the controversy helps drive people to the box office.
Yeah.
I don't think that did that for this movie.
Yeah.
Also they had more people of color in this movie. But also
I
don't think that really mattered.
I'll be honest, when I saw the trailer and I looked at this phone down, I didn't even notice that. That's when you showed it to me, like, before you watched this movie. I was like, oh, that happened? I didn't even know.
Yeah, they had this whole
she's like a main character or something.
Yeah, they just introduced this character in this movie,
yeah.
just, like, out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh, like, are they going to do something really wild with her or something?
Yeah.
But she was just like, no, I'm just a cool character. I'm here, too. And, I was wondering if there's going to be, like, some big plot twist, and that's why she wasn't in the previous movies or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess I don't want to give a spoiler.
I guess another thing is like, is this a family movie or is it like for the people who've grown up watching Harry Potter?
It's got pretty dark elements. Like
I would picture so because it's directed by David Yates.
it's PG-13.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be like gore or anything in it. Yeah.
I think in the first like 20 minutes of this, there's like they set you up to be like, this is PG-13. Like, do you think this is like we're gonna play nice with this stuff? We're like, get ready, buckle in.
It sounds funnier because you're saying it also.
Something about me saying like, this is PG-13, folks, buckle in. It's just people tell me it's humorous. I guess it's just like sometimes if I were Mads Mikkelsen saying, this is PG-13, like people would take it much more seriously. People would be a little scared of that. But like me being a goofy, like my temperament
person,
or whatever. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
And and they bring back characters and stuff that like I barely remember in the previous movies, but they bring them back and they're kind of like a bigger part, but not quite a bigger part or whatever, because there's so many things going on.
Yeah.
It's like a very, I feel like this is more of a plot-driven movie than like a character-driven movie, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like some movies are more based around like the character interactions and the acting and stuff. This feels like more based around like, like these characters are merely like pieces and parts of a plot for like, and that's maybe because of like the stakes of it all and stuff. Because like, maybe like one of the things I was thinking about saying about this movie is like that like the stakes have been raised in this movie compared to the past two movies.
Yeah.
Where like everybody just has to like fulfill their roles and stuff. It's like kind of a pretty late part of the series, equivalent of a late part of the series Harry Potter movie, where like you're not introducing characters anymore. You're not like having fun. You're like, okay, things are getting real. Like there's stakes here.
It's Return of the Jedi time.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi time, Deathly Hallows time.
Yeah,
this is that kind of movie. Yeah. Okay, so we spent a lot of time on Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
And it's like an hour even.
Yeah, it's pretty late, yeah.
Yeah. Do we even want to talk about any of this other stuff?
I guess briefly.
I need more water. Shit.
Maybe probably talk about when we get water or something.
Should we get a water break?
I don't know if we should do breaks. Like, it's pretty late.
I need water though. You could talk.
I'll talk when we get water. Yeah, that's fair. Alright. So the Disney CFO, Christine McCarvey, steps down. There's rumors of clashes. I don't know if they're actually true. It was done by the New York Post. She said it was because, like, her husband was sick. And I don't believe that. I don't know if, like... I never heard anything about either McCarthy clashing. That was the New York Post. And, like, it could just be media driving media news. Originally it was tomorrow. Like, investors and, like, journalists and, like, fans were saying, like, should take over Disney. Like, they thought, like, one, it was, like, it's different from doing that to become CEO of the whole company. And he's only theme parks. Like, they even said, like, it wasn't ready for him to do it yet. And then, later on, they're saying maybe Christine McCarthy should be the new CEO of Disney. But now that's not happening. Amidst, like, hostile takeovers and, governmental clashes, and now, like, the Pixar film's not doing well, and now, like, the whole, pandemic affecting, their box offices, and, rumors of ESPN sales, and whatever else is selling. There's belief that, like, they're out of touch or something. It's fun we could talk about. The Disney Around the World experience. I hear about these things all the time. They're really expensive. I mean, like, I also don't know, like, what kind of resorts. I don't know.
Back here.
Yeah, sure. I don't know which kind of like Disney hotels you're staying in where you're getting the $110,000 buy-in for whatever for the big world resort experience, and like if you're single, like it's $11,495 more.
Yeah, they might be using their like condos or vacation plan destinations or whatever for that, or do you think so, or
Well,
their timeshares or whatever?
the timeshares and the hotels are the same thing actually.
Okay.
It's just that you use like points or whatever.
Vacation club.
Like you get points for your timeshare, and then like you gotta spend them, or like you can carry them over, or you sell them or whatever. Sort of like cryptocurrency, actually.
Oh boy.
If you're really gonna get into it, I could go to the Walt Disney Film and Family Museum in Presidio. I don't think it says anything about which hotel you stay. Oh, you stay at the Star Wars hotel. Oh wait, no, you don't. I read that wrong. Yeah, I don't know which hotels you're even staying in, so that's probably a whole different thing with that.
Wait, so yeah, people. That's a pretty interesting.
Are you staying like All Star or like?
That's an interesting opening line. If you thought Disney's $5,000 per night Star Wars hotel was expensive, Disney's parks around the world makes it look like pocket change.
This is like Chap. This is like Iger, not Chapek. But like I don't know, like this Disney company. They always it's all about the money.
You could start a business with that. That's how you take.
I mean, maybe you can't make a business out of that. Like houses cost like $500,000.
This is like a Brewster's Millions kind of like. If you really need to get rid of money,
that's exactly what it is.
You just need to get rid of money without like retaining any asset value at all. You just start spending. Who wants to go around the world at Disney?
Yeah, there you
Come
go.
on.
I didn't even calculate if that actually was the right amount, and it probably isn't, I'm assuming. Or just go through things. Disney Plus is doing a documentary on Stan Lee, and Jack Kirby's son is upset with that. They had clashes.
There's always beef going on between Jack Kirby
I
and
remember
Stan
a
Lee.
lot.
They've already passed, and now there's still beef going on with their.
Like Stan Lee's son's
family.
funny. I mean, yeah, like his money is the legacy.
Yeah,
I remember when like blows himself up, dude was like talking about Stan Lee. He's like, whenever I hear Stan Lee, he always has a totally different story about how a character was created. And I think that's probably some of the beef like Jack Kirby has, or his son has with Stan Lee, because like he didn't get credit for it, and like Stan Lee told a totally different story of what actually happened or something.
I also think like with Jack Kirby, I think when it especially comes to the movies, like if you don't say if it's based on characters created by Jack Kirby,
He gets no money for
they
it.
don't get money for it. So that's actually a serious thing when it comes to
that's like
it's like a minor thing to the audience.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
It's a big deal to me, actually.
it's a really big thing for
but not general audiences. Yeah, it's like a Screen Actors Guild, Writers Guild, Directors Guild stuff, Producers Guild stuff.
Yeah, there you go,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all Hollywood talk. Hollywood industry talk.
I don't think we'll have enough time for a Watchmen discussion.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the whole thing.
You want to carry over for the
The short answer is that you should watch it.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
a good thing. If anything,
I'll
just
probably do a
watch
marathon for it. I don't know which Discord, but I'll probably watch it tomorrow.
If
Marathon
anything,
the whole thing.
If anything, you could watch like the first episode of Watchmen, HBO, on Juneteenth, and it already gives you a little bit of it gives you a lot of like the experience of like understanding. But like it's a great series. You should watch the whole thing.
I'll be honest, like how we watched it with your roommate at the time, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, you don't know.
And then he was like, by the end of it, you'll be amazed.
Yeah.
And then when I got to that major plot twist, like at episode 7 or whatever it was, I was like,
Yeah.
this is some good shit here.
Yeah, even like the creator, I agree with that. And then like I was starting to listen to podcast interviews with the creator, and like this isn't really a spoiler, but he said like he was trying to tap into the feeling he had when he read the original Watchmen graphic novels growing up, and like he was like, yeah, there's like a moment where you're not quite sure what's going on, but as you keep going, you're like, wow, it's really paying off.
Yeah.
And like, so if you just push through, it's like really amazing. So if you want to have a similar kind of experience in this series as well. And like, yeah, all the threads come together. This is Damon Lindelof, who also worked on Lost.
Yeah.
So it's all based around like mystery and drama and stuff.
Yeah.
I think he learned a lot of lessons from that show.
Like actually pays off in this series.
Yeah, he actually learned how to like make it pay off in this series in comparison. So don't feel like it's gonna be like Lost, where it's like, wow, all this drama, but it's by the Lost guys, so it's not gonna pay off. They actually, I don't want to overhype it, but like I think it's fair enough to say.
I don't know.
that,
How can you not overhype it? It's like one of the best TV series ever made.
That's true. I will say
it's pretty culturally significant.
I would just say like
It's sort of why Juneteenth is a big deal.
yeah, it's not why Juneteenth. It's one of the things. Yeah. Anyway,
I think draw attention to Juneteenth.
it's one of the things that's like kind of like the issues surrounding Juneteenth. I think it's also like one of the it's one of the strengths of this show that like kind of I don't know, they really center these kinds of issues in the show, while also making a part of like, this is part of America, this is part of like this hero universe, and it's something that like, you know, comic books and graphic novels should discuss more, and in a Hollywood show even like in.
I feel like we don't talk about it now. It's sort of lost now. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a monumental thing. Yeah, I wouldn't say like.
I feel like in the Disney Warner Brothers era of comic books, like this is not happening.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want to overhype it, but like it's like, yeah, it really does like really amazing things. It's kind of a lot to process. I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, finding it for a day might be a little bit hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like.
Once you get to that turning point, like you'll watch the rest of it.
Yeah, I feel like there's
the major reveal. Yeah.
I feel like there's people who say like you have to have a pretty high IQ to watch Rick and Morty or whatever. There's people who say that, but then there's also people who just like watch HBO's Watchmen and like, you know, enjoy that and stuff. That's a whole different thing. It's a different thing.
I think Alan Moore actually approved of the show.
I think so too, yeah.
And I think one thing I'm curious about, though, does he feel like the title Watchmen HBO is appropriate when HBO is like a corporate brand or whatever is what I'm worried about.
Yeah, it's really hard to rebrand it because they just called it Watchmen.
Yeah.
And also just background information, this is a sequel to the comic. Or
not the movie.
I don't know, yeah.
Definitely not the movie, yeah.
Actually, that might be kind of a spoiler. I don't know, I said it, but I don't know.
I think it's a minor spoiler.
It's a minor spoiler. Some people, like, when you go... Maybe it's best to go into it... I don't know.
It's too late now.
It's too late now. But, I don't know. That's, like, a pretty minor thing. But, like... I don't know, yeah. Sometimes it's interesting to do. And you don't have to... There's, like, some people who watched it with, like, a partner or something. They're like, oh, I followed the comic. And then I watched it with someone who didn't follow the comic. And, like, I think both people can appreciate the series in its own way.
Definitely.
So, yeah. Alright.
We'll take over for this one.
You're the pure PhD, you know? I don't know. Do you want me to?
I sort of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's less of my element or whatever.
I mean, I don't think it really helps that I am the pure PhD, actually, because there's not much from the movie that's in the original show.
I guess I can ask you.
Any of the remakes, even, I think.
Yeah, this screenshot gives you nothing about, like, what's happening.
Also, I was looking at, like, I forget if it was your picture or my picture, but, like, when they do the Shin Kamen Rider action figure, they only have one of them. They don't have both.
Huh.
From Tamashii Nation's Grand Central.
Wow, there's no other screenshots in here.
I mean, that's all you need to say, right? Like, those two, right?
Yeah, writer-director...
It's sort of a misnomer, also.
Yeah, writer-director Hideaki Anno.
Yeah.
What else is there to say?
I just find it very interesting. RogerEbert.com. Anno's take on Kamen Rider plays like a long, loving, idiosyncratic deconstruction of Kamen Rider. A wayward young hero. I would never picture that on RogerEbert.com, at least from the actual Roger Ebert. I think he did watch like Inframan and stuff, right? And Godzilla.
He reviewed Inframan, actually.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
He reviewed Inframan. Yeah, I think he changed his rating on Inframan.
Yeah.
Like, after he watched...
He gave it like 4 stars after the same viewing, right?
Like, he gave it like... Originally it was like 2.5, and he gave it a 3 afterwards.
Okay.
I think it was because like he watched like a Tarantino movie and he was like, wait a second, if this Tarantino movie's like 2.5 stars, then Inframan's got to be at least 3 stars. Because I've been thinking about this movie like maybe at least once a month since it came out 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So I gotta upgrade this because this definitely deserves to be thought. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, you gotta keep up with the times. Like, this is this is an indie film, but it's by Hideaki Anno.
And you gotta support the film industry.
Supporting the film industry, the Japanese film industry, the international film industry. It's an international film, but it's also like pretty like middle,
it's smaller too.
It's kind of like middle brow kind of stuff going on, like, and like Roger Ebert was never really above that either. Like he was like watching like Star Wars and stuff like that, blockbusters. He's not like gonna turn his nose up against like like blockbusters and stuff like that, or like action movies or whatever, or even B movies.
Talk about Ninjas Evangelion. I think we just reviewed the review, yeah. They talk about Ninjas Evangelion on this thing. Not like the recent rebuild remakes.
Right.
The off-copy anime.
Many people will come to Shin Kamen Rider expecting a movie by Hideaki Anno. They won't be disappointed.
Yeah, Anno's been around since like the 80s also, I guess.
Yeah. Is that true?
Yeah. Well, like before Evangelion, like Zyra or whatever.
Yeah, I think you would agree with this. Anno's deep love and understanding for the Kamen Rider characters never devolves into Xerox faithful reverence. It's pretty... To you...
It's definitely not Xerox.
It's pretty different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe the opening fight.
It might have Xerox Ninjas Evangelion more than Kamen Rider. Also, since we've watched Shin Kamen Rider, we watched Shin Kamen Rider.
You keep saying that. You gotta clarify that you're talking about the 1986?
80s or 90s or whatever,
yeah. Yeah, there's Shin Kamen Rider 2023, but there's also Shin Kamen Rider 1986, I want to say. I don't know how to find it.
1990 maybe? 1992. There we go.
Yeah. Prologue.
Yeah, prologue. Yeah, that's how you say it, prologue. Yeah.
This movie was more...
There's a prologue and then it's never a chapter 1.
This movie was more biopunk.
Yeah.
Biopunk horror kind of a film.
Yeah.
And then, like, Shin Kamen Rider had, like, biopunk elements. Yeah. That, like, some of the biopunk elements in the new Shin Kamen Rider was, like... I'm saying new Shin Kamen Rider is a double new, because Shin means new.
Yeah.
But, like... the new one... Can we open the door more?
Yeah, sure. I don't know that. I don't think anyone's gonna go in.
Yeah. The new Shin Kamen Rider is, like... even more I don't remember what I was gonna say. It's like it had biopunk elements, like he turns into a bug, but they drop off.
You're talking about like in the beginning where he's like, they're gonna do this whole thing about like if he takes off the mask or he does the belt or whatever, like he turns into the actual bug, but that'll be a thing, and they never capitalize off it or whatever.
Yeah,
which is sort of like a Quantum of Solace strand of Harry Potter.
Yeah, they keep throwing things at you and then moving on and like dropping things off, and yeah, they just hope by moving fast enough you just kind of forget about it or whatever.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's sci-fi epic Rebel Moon.
Have you never heard of it?
I haven't even heard of this movie at all.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a Star Wars homage.
Really?
Yeah.
Netflix's Tudum event.
Tudum, like two parts.
Tudum.
I don't know what that is.
I think it's like in Brazil or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it is exactly.
There's also like this film inspired by the year 1977 that was supposed to come out, and I don't know if that ever got released or whatever.
Oh wow, they're doing a 3-body problem movie or something trailer. Comes from the creators of HBO's Game of Thrones. Do you want to say that, given how disappointing Game of Thrones was?
Well, the last season, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. It was pretty yeah, it's by David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. Oh boy. I hear 3-Body Problems are really good. Like one of the most amazing sci-fi books in a long time. And by a wide margin or something.
I don't have a list of best films of 2023 yet. I should probably make one.
Best movies of 2023 so far. Have we watched a lot of stuff?
Or from this year.
Across the Spider-Verse, Roundup, No Way Out. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Oh, we didn't watch this.
Probably won't watch it in theaters.
Suzume, Makoto Shinkai.
Suzume I was recommending, yeah, because like it was Phantom, it was like in theaters like all over the place.
Makoto
It was anime,
Shinkai.
Makoto Shinkai, yeah.
Polite Society, interesting.
Sounds familiar.
I think. Oh shit. Whoops. What the hell? Where'd everything go? What?
It's on the
Did I make
right, though.
another desktop? That was freaky. It freaked me out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Polite Society. Imagine your sister has dropped out of art school. Sure, okay, who hasn't taken a break from their studies? Now imagine she's also engaged to some jabroni she's only known
Jabroni!
for a month. It's a little more concerning considering she used to be your partner in crime, there to encourage and film your every stunt move. This admittedly increasingly specific hypothetical is the lived reality for Rhea, who dreams of being a stunt woman and loves her sister deeply. Of course, the combination of these two things means she does what any of us would plan. Plan a wedding heist to rescue her sister from what's surely a fate worse than death. The Pope's Exorcist.
An actual good Exorcist movie.
Is this good? I don't think this is in the same series as The Exorcist, is it?
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
It's very misleading.
Also, I think like it's setting up like 100 sequels. I think I heard that because like they're like, oh, we got the first ghost. We hear there's maybe 160 more curses just like this one. I think they might have said that or something like that in the lore of the movie. I don't think that's a huge spoiler, but like it's maybe more just saying.
I mean, that was a thing with the new Mummy also with like Tom Cruise.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like, was it about the
Or blow up a pipeline. That was trending.
Fist of the Condor?
Yeah. I wonder if I read this article before. Maybe this is like an old article.
They update like their best things of 2023.
Okay.
They update throughout the year.
Yeah.
So they they add things on, they take things out.
Yeah.
They do it for their games.
Sounds interesting.
They take things just to
John
update
Wick,
it.
There you go. John Wick. What else do you know? I still haven't watched it yet.
Oh, that's Donnie Yen.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Spoiler.
Is that Nicholas Holt? No, it's not.
It doesn't look like this is all. He looks too big.
Ian McShane.
The blind assassin again? How many times are you gonna make him blind? He can see! Creed 3.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan versus Jonathan Majors.
Yeah. I don't know if you watched the trailer yet or not. It's pretty interesting. Looks like it'll actually be a good Rocky sequel.
Yeah, it's got Jonathan
It's
Majors.
on Amazon Prime, actually.
Oh, really?
It's free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do you need Prime Video for? genre, found footage horror.
I mean, the thing is now, since they have MGM, they can make like Rocky stuff and whatever now. Not get the cabin.
Wait,
that was way out in the beginning with January, yeah.
Wait, family drama.
I guess he's in 2 different films.
Wait, I don't know why, like, if I'm thinking, like, if you're in a horror movie, like, Dave Bautista...
You're the murderer.
Is, like... I don't think of him, like, if he's on our side as the victim...
Yes, like, you know, how are you gonna kill him? How are you gonna kill him? He's, like, 8 feet tall.
You know, I feel like that's
not...
Like, you know, we're all a bunch of Power Pro wrestlers. You know, they're coming after us. Like...
I mean, the thing is, like, people underestimate him in wrestling, and James Gunn will admit this. Like, he's a very talented actor. That's why he made his mark in wrestling.
Yeah, but like, he's like this built dude. Like, he's like, and he's supposed to be a vulnerable role in this. You know?
I mean, that's sort of what happened with Arnold Schwarzenegger Jr. Like, he played a very good vulnerable role in that, actually.
Yeah. But like, I just
lost weight or whatever.
I know.
Yeah.
I probably need to see the movie and figure out the premise and stuff like that, and probably it's implemented really well.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, just the idea of like, oh, I don't know what we're gonna do. We only have like all these weapons, and I'm like,
on me.
I'm 300 pounds, and like 6'5", and you know, I'm like.
This is some fun, yeah.
Oh, what are we gonna do? We're screwed. We're done for. Yeah, but he's wearing glasses. He's wearing those glasses.
He's so weak.
Look, he's wearing a button down.
He's got so much.
This short sleeve button down shirt is like barely covering my muscles here, my tattooed muscles here. Oh, my watch! I can't tell the time. It's like rippling off my biceps.
Well, that's what he needs the glasses for, so he can read his watch.
I can't read my watch. I'm so nearsighted. I'm so helpless. I'm like a big geek. Look, he's like 3 feet taller than these people here. They're scared, and he's like,
well, of course he's scared, so they have to be scared, right?
Like, their mouths are like wide open, and their eyes are wide open. He's like, kind of, oh, do I have to run? Do I have to defend these people? You know, I don't know. I mean, everybody has to be scared of things, but like, I don't know.
He has a phobia of spiders or something, I don't know.
Yeah. Definitely.
Brandon Cronenberg. I still haven't watched the Brandon Cronenberg film yet.
Brandon Cronenberg. And this
son of David Cronenberg.
And this is Alexander Skarsgård. Is that like the brother or the son of Stellan Skarsgård or something? Yeah. So there's a lot of brothers and sons, whatever, here.
Here we go. Yeah, it's nepotism.
Yeah. Python. Oh, you heard about this one?
I think I read this from this article.
Shah Rukh Khan. Taking notes of Pierce Brosnan and Mission Impossible. Oh. I gotta check out all these. These all sound amazing.
Oh. Thank you, Polygon.
Yeah. Missing. Spiritual sequel to Searching. Broker.
There you go. Is that famous Korean guy? Or Koreeda, yeah.
Yeah, he's directing Korean actors.
I think they might have been for last year, but I don't know, whatever.
I watched one Koreeda film and I was like, yeah, this guy's amazing. And then, like, I haven't watched a single one since then. I gotta watch more Hirokazu Koreeda films.
And I'm not as into Koreeda. I'm not saying he's bad, I just...
Did you watch I Wish? That was the one I watched.
I watched the beginning of it. I don't finish the whole thing. I think it was a problem. I wasn't in the theater. Yeah.
Okay. I watched it at Stony Brook Theater. Yeah. When I went there.
Yeah. I think this is the interesting one. Yeah, there you go.
Sick.
I'd be like, well, half the country's not going to watch it because they don't believe it was any danger. It's a horror film about COVID.
The COVID stuff is hit or miss. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. What's undeniable is the craft. Action sequences, penchant for building tension, move.
Oh, it's on Peacock. I forgot.
Wow, there's a lot of good movies this year. Oh. Who made this movie? Tamil language heist movie.
Oh yeah, it's not like a well-known in the U.S. company. Megan was like all the way in like February, and then it went directly to Peacock. You know, and I don't know if there's like a uncensored cut or like an unrated cut or something for it. You can pretty much guess what this movie is about. I haven't watched it yet, but you can guess what it's about. Yeah.
Okay. Theater camp.
Ben Platt. Guy everyone has free tickets to, and no one knows who he is. At least if you're like 30.
Talk to me. Alright.
Alright.
It's almost 11.
Yeah, I think we covered at least introducing concepts. I don't think we should go into depth with anything.
Yeah.
Or just brief synopses, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should pretty much
We
call
pretty
it
much
here.
covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a good
We had a good run.
Dave Bautista. Oh, Triple H is after me. Oh, it's this man. Well, that's sort of scary, actually.
It's this must be the other place. Let me see if I can find that clip.
Oh no, it's Tony Khan.
Yeah, it's in this.
He grabbed his birthday quotes. Oh, there you go. You
It
found
is
it.
on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. I don't know. Will this get copyright struck?
I've never done Paramount before, but
It's
I
8
thought it would
seconds,
do
but this is like a camera. Okay, let me just mute it.
it. Yeah. Probably the video is probably more of a problem than the audio. Probably.
It's on shaky cam.
Probably because the audio, like maybe if you played it at the same time the Final Fantasy music played, it'd probably be more
Anyway,
eerie if you did it
This
too.
is one of the all-time greatest Hey Arnold quotes. Grandpa believes he has died. Well, that's it. I must be in heaven. Wait a minute. Oh no, Oscar's here. This must be the other place. And it's because
And it did it in Kakashka's voice for some reason.
well, that's it. I must be in heaven. Wait a minute. Oh no, Oscar's here. This must be. No, Grandpa, it's the boarding house. You're still here with us. And let me see. Believes he has died. This must be heaven.
You're double checking the brilliance, I guess.
And yeah, the thing I want to mention is that like the reason they have to say this must be the other place.
Right,
It's
it's a kid show in the 90s.
It's a kid show in the 90s, so they're not allowed to say HE double hockey sticks.
Yeah.
But like they have to use euphemisms and like I must be in heaven. Maybe I'm not.
That works too. I feel like that's a good line you could use too. Maybe I'm not.
There was another one that was like a Azula only child where she was like, yeah, this is it.
You mean it's not obvious yet? I'm about to celebrate becoming an only child!
So she's going to end Zuko.
Yeah.
And she's not allowed to say the kill word or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah, I like being creative with that kind of stuff though.
Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, and it's very... And then like it being delivered by, what's her face?
Zula?
Yeah, Zula or that voice actress or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very good, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
This must be the other place. Alright, anyway, it's pretty late. And we need some time to wind down for the night.
Yep.
And this was just a random stream of entertainment roundup and stuff. So, yeah, enjoy your Juneteenth
Don't go to
holiday.
the other place. Don't go to the other place.
Enjoy your Juneteenth holiday if you got it. Don't go to the other place. Watch Secrets of Dumbledore.
Watch RogerEbert.com where they talk about the Yanos and the Otakus and the Kamen Rider lore.
Yeah, now they have Shin Kamen Rider stuff on.
They'll probably have like
here.
All Riders versus Die Shocker in it there somewhere too.
Watch the Watchmen.
Watch the Watchmen, yeah. We'll see what happens with Disney and all that stuff.
We'll keep you updated on
times.
We'll keep you updated on the Disney stuff. Have a happy Juneteenth celebration.
Yeah.
And yeah, happy watching. All right.
Take care of yourself, guys.
All right. Muditaheart out.
I have had to.
All right. Take it easy.